Hey everybody, welcome back. We're looking at some insane rich person behavior stories.
When I was in high school, this girl wrecked her third Porsche, and her parents bought her another one.
You think maybe after the first wreck they would think, this might not be a good investment. Imagine having that much money to burn.
Oh, sweetie, don't worry. We'll just get you another one.
At that point, it's a safety issue.
I was flown out to the Maldives to perform for the Prince of a Middle Eastern country. I don't want to get killed for saying his name. He was supposed to have a party for 1 week, which he spent $20 million organising. Amongst myself, an acrobat, there was dwarfs dressed as Oompa Loompas. There was guys dressed as robots that shot lasers from their arms. After 2 days of partying, he decided he was done, went back to his country, and I got paid for the rest of the week to have a holiday in the Maldives. It was great.
Wow! I'm like not even really that mad about that. I'm happy that you got something out of it, girl. Sounds amazing.
20 million? Oh, that's just pocket change.
So I was with some friends nightclub hopping after a bar crawl with a bunch of people we just met, and a couple of the girls called us over and they're like, some guy just bought a bottle at this table and he's inviting us all over. Show up to the table, it's just this one rich Japanese businessman, ton of women, and we're the only two guys out of all the people. I have a gin and tonic in my hand and he goes, you want a drink? Didn't want to bother this guy, so I said, no, it's fine, I have my own drink. He looks at my drink, picks it up, goes, this is a poor person's drink, throws it against the wall, shatters glass, gin and tonic everywhere. 3 waitresses come out of nowhere, clean up the whole mess, and hand me my own personal bottle of champagne. It was a fun night.
That does sound really fun. It reminds me of when I used to live in New York and I used to go out with these like models. I wasn't a model, but I used to go out with models. And we were at this really lavish club called Lavo. And there was a billionaire there that was there with his family. Underage kids. Somehow he's that rich that he can bring his underage kids to a club. And they bought a $250,000 bottle of Dom Perignon. This bottle was so big, you needed like 6 people just to pick it up and pour it in someone's mouth. And you best believe I took a sip, honey. And apparently, when you order this bottle, you get a mermaid. A girl in a mermaid costume comes out and sits at your table with you as you drink the bottle, just cuz. Insane.
I was producing a big video game for a major gaming publisher, and I got assigned a new designer one day. He seemed totally normal, cool, gamer kid. We were out to lunch one day and he made a comment about getting a new home. I said, congrats, when are you guys moving? He's like, oh no, we're not actually moving. We just got another home to host parties. He was already living in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Los Angeles, and basically mom and dad decided we need a house just to host parties. Needless to say, when I gave him a raise that year, because he was actually a really hardworking employee, I knew it wasn't going to mean much.
Wow, you know, that's actually kind of genius. I hate to clean up after people. Just have a party house that you go and you host the parties and then people leave and there's a cleanup afterward. Doesn't invade your personal space, stuff doesn't get stolen. Kind of genius. I wish I had more money to pull that off. Or do I? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of other things that I would rather spend my money on if I had that kind of money. But I guess if you get that rich, you have all the money in the world to spend it on anything you want, so.
I lived in Saudi Arabia for a minute, and my friend is a prince, right? And he asked me to come over to his house, literally in Castle. It's fine. And I go over, and his front yard has like pet cheetahs, pet leopards, all that. And I literally had to be embarrassing and say I have a cat allergy. Anyways, so I would try to go into his house, and he's like, no, that's our parking structure. Literally 4 stories high, but it's okay. And then whenever he would want to meet a famous person, he would just pay them, and they would meet him in Dubai. So
the audacity of you having a cat allergy around a fucking cheetahs and leopards. Stick with it. Just take some medication or something. Do you not understand that allergies are for peasants? You know that when you get to be a celebrity that you literally get paid to go to a club, like to just like be there and drink because it creates so much publicity for the club that it's like totally worth it for them.
I used to be the events manager for a supercar rally. So basically what we used to do is a bunch of old creepy guys would pay to come on this rally. They drive around Europe all week in their Lamborghinis, Ferraris. It was basically just an excuse for these guys to just show off how much money they had, and it was like a small dick competition. Anyway, I was in charge of the promo girls, which were a group of girls who would kind of just paraded around in their bikinis, leotards, creepy as hell, Jeffrey Epstein shit. But anyway, one of the nights we were in Monaco, and it was one of the guys' birthdays. He hired out this entire casino in Monaco. Goes in, he's like, go hard or go home. Puts down £50,000 on one game of roulette. Loses. If that wasn't good enough, when we were at the pool party later, he got out another £10,000. Just decided to crumple it up and throw it in the pool.
Stop right now. Bruh, that's kind of sad at that point. Like, don't you think that maybe there's someone who could have used that $10? Like, couldn't you have given it to like a server or something? The homeless people outside, don't just toss it in the pool. It's like throwing in the garbage. Like, what? Like, are we really throwing away 10 grand right now? And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your reminder to do that. Or don't. I don't need you.
Okay, so forever ago, I used to work as a cashier at Prada. And so I was helping out two gentlemen one day, get to the point of the transaction where I'm like, all right, your bill comes to $2,500.63. The one guy turns to the other and goes, hey bro, do you have any change on you? And the other guy's like, nah, dude, I only have hundreds and fifties. And the original guy goes, no, not peasant bills, like change. And then that's when I realized that for them, any bill under $50 is change. And then they refer to it as peasant bills. Blatantly in front of me, somebody who is working, living off of peasant bills.
I literally cannot even. Some honeymoon clients insisted that they would not sleep on a mattress that someone else had slept on, so we had to buy a new mattress for each hotel they stayed in. Each mattress cost over $5,000, and they stayed at 5 hotels. They used each mattress for a couple of nights only, and then we had to remove the mattress from the hotel and dispose of it. Did you know that rich people don't drink tap water, like ever? They just won't do it. In some areas of the world, I can understand not wanting tap water, but the microbes, there's microbes in there.
Do you know what they put in tap water?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Peasants.
My daughter was 9. Her appendix ruptured, and she spent a week in the medical center of the Rockies in Colorado. We had a bill of like $17,000. And so I had called the hospital to fill out like a paperwork to like get a payment plan. And they sent me this like paper to apply for like financial trust fund, something or other. Anyways, I got on a payment plan. I made my first payment, and then I got a letter in the mail that said that an anonymous donor had paid off my daughter's medical bills in the amount of $17,000. I've been trying to pay it forward ever since, because that seriously was probably the most like insane rich person thing I've ever had happen to me.
Oh, I'm so glad that we could have included something positive in this. Very glad. And also unrelated, but my dear, you have beautiful eyes. What mascara do you use? Tell me everything.
Y'all remember that video where it's like, what's the most insane actual rich person behavior? Rich people in country clubs. Applications to these like really exclusive country clubs are insane. The person really needed the approval of like the founder of the club, and so you had to play 9 holes of golf with them. And the secretary called like randomly one day and was like, this guy is free at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. But he's in Montana. So our friend literally flew out to Montana to play 9 holes of golf with this one guy. And when he left, the guy says, just tell people I have a favorable opinion.
Wow. Yeah, I'm free for coffee in Montana. I'll just like get on a plane then. Just allow me to hop onto my private jet that I just leave parked for exactly this kind of occasion. This guy cut me off on the street, rammed the right side of my car. We got out of the car, and this guy just handed me a 6,500 euro check without discussing. The damage he caused was only 200 euros. Damn. That's one way to shut people up. Just put money in their face. Here you go.
Shut up and take my money.
Will this be enough? You know what that is? I bet he didn't want that on the books for whatever reason. Maybe he had a record already? He's right, though. Tossing money in someone's face will just shut them up.
Ha! Buckle up, y'all.
My house is so big that I have to have 3 routers, and none of them are ever working. My mom's best friend took a private plane from Los Angeles to China because they didn't want to drive the extra 30 minutes from the regular commercial airport to their city. I once took a family day trip to Mexico because my parents wanted lobster. My family is currently gentrifying a neighborhood. My parents' love language to me when I was a child was naming a factory in China after me. I was able to do an economic impact analysis of reporting rape, and it would affect a few major industries both in the United States and China. When my parents got divorced, it caused a few murders, an extra unrelated felony charge, downfall of a few businesses, and a Ponzi scheme. No one ever really showed me true affection, so now all I know how to do is throw money at things.
That was a lot. There was a lot in there. That doesn't just sound like you're a rich person. That sounds like you might be involved in the mafia or whatever. I'm just saying. But maybe... Oh, shit. Am I gonna get killed now?
15 years ago, I'm working at a Best Buy and I show up to work and there's a Lamborghini in front of the store, but I don't mean like parked in front of the store. I mean in front of the f***ing doors on the sidewalk. So of course I'm just like, ugh, this f***ing rich douche. I end up having to help that f***ing guy. But he's, you know, nice enough, so at the end of the transaction I was like, okay, so how do you want to pay for this? Have you heard about a Best Buy credit card? And then this guy lost his f***ing mind. He looks at me like I just kicked his dog and then pulls his wallet and starts throwing credit cards at me. Let me demonstrate. What the f*** you saying, man? What, you think I can't fucking pick one? Just f***ing pick one. Meanwhile, the manager is like 4 steps away. He's spending too much money. I just deal with it. Somehow, I still ended up being in trouble after that.
Oh no! And I bet they push you to advertise that credit card as well. Oh God. This is the kind of rich person behavior that is not acceptable. Give me free things, by all means, but don't throw credit cards in my face for doing my job.
I went to a British high school, and for my GCSEs, I had someone tell me that they weren't studying to get good grades because they cared about their grades or because they thought it would help their future. No, they were doing it because their father said that they would be given £1,000 for every A star that they got. £1,000.
Well, there's some motivation for you. This is what rich people call incentive. Whatever works, right? All right, we got one more.
I have got a plethora of stories, but this one is by far my favorite. One time when I was working my $8 an hour job, I was complaining about having to drive 60 miles to pick my mom up from the airport, and this bitch that I worked with goes, well, why don't you just fly? And I was like, what do you mean, why don't I just fly? Like, the fuck? And she was like, well, when we have to go somewhere that's too far to drive, we just take my dad's plane.
Oh!
So her dad had his private plane and like a landing strip all in his backyard, and she thought that everyone had one. She thought that like that was normal.
Wait, you mean it's not?
Oh, honey.
All right, guys, that was some insane rich person behavior. God, I want to be rich. Subscribe! I've got some